a duo that we talk about.
Is it easy to execute? Because we know they've had some execution issues.
Yeah.
I think so. I honestly think so. It's like this is what LGD does as well. They pick Lina and then they pick a bunch of like AoE bubbles to put on the ground to protect the Lina. So this to me looks like an LGD draft, and I think that they've studied and they're trying it out. TnC's, I mean, they're doing the same thing kind of with the Axe.
Okay, let's find out how this game's gonna play itself out. Is Team Liquid able to turn the tides, or will TnC take this game one of this best of 3 series? We're finding out together with BSJ and ODPixel.
お前はもう死んでいる
Thank you, Sheever. Fog decided to share a little bit. I have this ODPixel pillow to myself now. Happy to be casting this series with you. I am actually super excited about this carry axe. How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing good, Brian. Yeah, always a fan of seeing the position one axe, and especially when it's in the hands of some of these SEA teams. Gabby playing this safe lane axe, you can expect he's going to pop off, and I really do think he will. I'm a little concerned for Liquid in this one. They've been having a rough time here at the LAN. TnC, of course, coming in with some fantastic victories. The 2-0 against Nigma, taking a game off Fiji Gaming. Liquid's, the pressure really is on for them here, and what we're going to see if they're going to be able to start to fix some of the problems they've been struggling with, as it's not going to be easy. TnC with this sort of lineup, this master tier, Armel TA, a lot of things for Liquid to be worried about this game.
Yeah, and their backs are against the wall. This is do or die. They're going to have another series right after this, I believe, and if they do not pull it together now, they will be putting together their clothes in their suitcases and going on home.
Well, we'll see what they can get going for them. I mean, looking at the 2 drafts, Brian, I mean, what's sort of standing out to you as particularly strong from both sides? Like, what are you liking strategically from these teams here?
It's just a really hard Faceless Void game. I'm now complimenting TnC's draft in the sense that who do you chrono? TA with the refraction charges most likely going to have a blink dagger to be quite elusive, and then you have 2 really tanky cores, and if you're going to try to go in without the chronosphere, you got the instant stun from the DK, you got the low cooldown call from the Axe, BKB piercing. It's just going to be difficult to itemize and execute team fights for Mickey, but on the other hand, if he does manage to land that crucial chrono, they have a lot of damage to follow up from a long range on the side of Liquid.
Oh, that's for sure, yeah. They have got that team fight pretty much locked down here. The Curse, the Arena, the Chrono, lots of stuff to hold and contain the members of TnC, whilst in the mid, such as Armel is going to be able to get that damage done. But we'll see how much sort of a start Armel gets in this matchup. TA versus Lina in the mid lane. What do you expect to make of this one? Is this a lane where Armel can suffer against the Armel TA?
Yeah, I don't know what year this is. In the past, TA's done quite well against Lina. I'm yet to watch this current patch, but I'm going to assume it's slightly in favor of TA, which is odd because they first rounded the Lina, assuming from a spectator standpoint that it would be a flex pick, and after they countered it with the TA, or at least I think it's a counter, they left it as is. So we're going to have to see. Sumail seems confident. I almost thought that was going to be a mid Mirana for him, as he has done that in the past, but I don't think that does particularly well against TA either. Looking forward to seeing Taiga get that high priority last pick in the Mirana. I don't see that too often for a support.
Yeah, what do you think it was about this game that made them want to get that Mirana in as the Final Four? Obviously, there is that supernova. They are going to have that strength of being able to hit the egg. Other than that, what sort of screams out that, this game is a game for Liquid to go for the Mirana?
Just because they already had the Lina, I have to assume it's not all about hitting that egg. It does help, but it wouldn't be the only reason they pick it. I'm going to go with the fight selection, the nature of the ultimate from Ron as he does go down top. Let's just ignore that. He is almost level 2, but not quite early on enough to get those leap charges. But it's the ultimate from the Mirana, making sure that the Faceless Void and the Mars can get in range and position to cast their spells properly. Whoever gets the jump is going to come out on top most likely.
See so far in the laning stage, nobody getting completely zoned out. We're seeing top lane, Quofa actually the one to get the most creep so far. He's having pretty much free farm as the Mars here, but Gabby, of course, no struggle soaking up the creeps as they do get pushed in underneath his tower. Mid lane, 15 for 2 against the 13 for 3. Sumail keeping it very close here to that the Armel's able to achieve. Of course, the big difference is going to come into play when we see how quickly both of the mids can flash farm the jungle at the same time. Already you see Tim's setting up the jungle here for Armel, getting those stacks going on TnC's side of the map.
The one difference is TA is the one that can farm Ancients, and Lina isn't necessarily. That's not her strong suit. This small camp's the big thing about this patch for mid. All these mids that can abuse that small camp as early as possible. As you see Sumail considering it, but electing to go back to lane. That's why I was almost surprised it took this long for Lina to be popular. She's so efficient when it comes to these early game, and her limitation in the past was mana only.
Oh, she top lane Gabby. Some good harassment here onto Quoifer. All into a few spins, and Quoifer's got to be popping that salve probably here as Gabby showing that they're not afraid to play aggressive here. Gabby trying to see if he can cancel that salve, but Quoifer able to stay hidden in the trees. Tiger, though, he's got to keep his distance. Looking towards the courier. One more leap forward. He will get it. He may just die for this, though, Tiger. The call comes into play. Tiger's going to lose his life for that. Liquid, they do get the 2 couriers. They end up giving away another kill here to Gabby in the safe lane. Over in the river, Sumail sees that there's no further stun threat. Will manage to TP back towards the tower. But all in all, some early kills here for the safe lane Axe.
Yeah, there's not many safe lane duos that I think would do well against Mars plus any ranged right clicker like the Mirana, but Enchantress is one of the strongest laning 5s, and she can also stay out of lane a lot, and Axe is perfectly sufficient on his own since he normally is an off laner, and that means he's going to have a nice little level advantage, and overall just going for that rushed ring of health on any carry ever just feels fantastic, and it's almost surprising just as much as the Lina mid that Axe has waited this long to be a carry with that new Agshard build. People just wait for it to get nerfed, you know, before they're like, okay, that means it's the real deal. Time to consider this and the hard carry role. And it just fits so much more this patch than last because the mid lane is so much more carry-esque itself. So you can afford to have more of a semi-carry one that doesn't have to bear the entire brunt of the carrier load, you know, 40 minutes into the game.
No, absolutely. I think, yeah, Axe in the position 1, as we were seeing back in the league from some teams, it has got huge potential. I mean, why do you think some teams just haven't really played with the idea of the Axe as the carry? Is it just players not necessarily being too comfortable playing it in that position, or are there other weaknesses that means teams aren't always going to look towards maybe getting a carry Axe in?
Yeah, I think it really is as simple as teams not having time to adjust fully to the meta, and there's just a lot of causal chains throughout the course of any developed meta, which in this case, as we've leaned more and more towards heroes like TA being super popular, inevitably you can afford these pseudo carries, as I mentioned, and now people have to start theory crafting. We saw Liquid even try carry Omni Knight yesterday. It didn't work out, but Axe, this is the type of hero where if it failed the first 2 games, maybe we would never see it again, but it's already looking good, and thus, if other teams are doing it, why not steal it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're seeing, you know, already between the mids, as expected, already a few hundred gold lead here for Armel with how much he's able to clean up outside of the lane. You see those continued stacks being prepared for them. This mid TA is going to have a huge power spike at a very good time this game. Tiger trying to step up here. They brought the 2 supports in around the mid lane, but unless they really sort of catch one with an arrow, it's going to be a hard move to make. They will manage to land the arrow onto Armel. TP's coming in from TnC, though. They're ready to bring in the backup as Tiger's going to end up dying for this effort. Sumail also in trouble as he's getting slowed down by the traps. Quoifer swung over, though. Looking to help out. Will catch Boomy in the arena. Quoifer able to come over in time, make sure that Liquid don't end up losing Sumail there. But we are seeing, you know, they want to make a move on Armel. It's just proven to be a little too hard. TnC keeping their TA perfectly safe underneath the tower.
Yeah, it's definitely not the target he wanted, but you'll take what you can get. Just look at the CS and the net worth, though. It's all in favor of TnC. I have to imagine that DK is quite a strong laner against Faceless Void, who's pretty much all physical damage early, because Phoenix has not spent very much time in the lane, and he's still out leveling and out net worthing the Void by a pretty large margin. And this is a response pick, so they clearly knew this matchup worked this way. And even though Mars is having a pretty decent start, Quaitfa, and same with Sumail, they're just getting more. Gabby doing the same thing we saw from Ame last series, willingly leaving his lane in order to just gain the efficiency of the jungle, and they have such good stacking heroes. Enchantress can use creeps, Phoenix can use fire spirits to stack multiple camps per minute, and I'm pretty sure that's all this net worth lead is. There's no fancy kills going on. Yeah, they're up 3-1, but it's all just creeps.
Absolutely, yeah, Gabby, this is definitely on track to be one of the games that you are just going to see insane net worth built up at such a fast pace from Gabby, fully uninterrupted this axe. 5k net worth, 8 minutes in. And Liquid's probably going to, pressure's going to be on Liquid to make moves, really. Maybe with this first Chronosphere with Mickey's hit the 6. They've either got to do something around him or something around Samel, because as it is, TnC's just going to continue to out-farm them pretty heavily here.
Yeah, they just have serious damage issues when you consider the heroes they're trying to kill. I mentioned it later on in the game. It seems that it's already mounting as TA with max refraction, DK super tanky with this passive, Axe already got the Vanguard. Yes. Oh, this is a good wraparound by Koifa.
Yeah, they're going to catch on to Tims. Tims will get taken out. Koifa could be in trouble, though. Trap slow coming in. Box TP'd over. The cold embrace will buy time in for Koifa. They're trying to burst bot. Somehow they'll be able to do so. They bring down a second here. Liquid Koifa able to push back Armel in time. The tower hits will finish him off. As Liquid lose Koifa, but this time they'll get away with finding 2 kills before so taking down both the Phoenix and the DK there for their efforts.
Gabby's level 10. What the hell? 9 minutes in.
I mean, he's just out. He's having the time of his life, Gabby. I don't think he'd be farming any faster here. They will look to punish him with the Chrono. He's pretty tanky, though. Well, with the Vanguard, 4 heroes having a go at Gabby here. They will finally get him. Takes a lot. They do kill him off, and they absolutely needed to, as you were pointing out, just how good of a start Gabby is having. Liquid will finally be able to slow him down a little bit, take him off the map for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I guess he's just got strongman syndrome. Maybe it's the just feeling himself after having such a good early game. You're level 10, and he's thinking the same thing I'm. He's like, holy crap, I'm level 10 in 9 minutes in. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Armel is pressuring bottom tower. They are going to need a lot of resources to get any little moves done on the map from Liquid, so anytime that they are going to 3 or 4 man gank a core like you see there, it is really important that TnC attempts to make something happen elsewhere, and we should expect that constantly throughout the game. As long as Liquid can keep up these moves, I like their late game better. It's just a matter of how many times that Axe is going to die, because every time he's not dying, he will be gaining the net worth lead on you.
Yeah, for sure. You're not going to be able to hit creeps as fast as Gabby. And we see Mickey with the build as well. Looks to be no Maelstrom in the build-up, just straight for the S and Y. I mean, what sort of determines which way you're going to go with a Void build? You know, this game, the S and Y, whereas obviously, I think last time around was the Void, the Maelstrom into the S and Y. When do you go for the Maelstrom? When do you skip it, Brian?
It's when you feel like you're gonna die if you go for that Maelstrom. I have to imagine he's thinking this DK Blink's coming out soon. The Axe is a threat enough as is, and teamfights are just hard for him to execute because they have so much damage at this stage in the game that the only way you farm faster with an S&Y than you do with a Maelstrom is when you're expecting to die if you go Maelstrom. So that's the only reasoning I can come up with. He certainly needed an S&Y this game against the call. It's the go-to item for all carries, no matter what role the Axe is in, but you would always hope to delay it. It does speak to the situation that Liquid finds themselves in, that he is going for this item build. It doesn't feel terrible, but you're definitely not excited about it if you're a carry player.
Under attack.
See mid lane TnC really put it on the pressure with the Elder Dragon form, but Liquid will respond. Koifa TPing over, TnC immediately backing off. Koifa maybe seeing if he can get a grab with the arena here, but doesn't want to go for these two. May have been able to catch Boomy, but obviously not one of the big targets that the Liquid kind of need to be killing here. As TnC able to quickly split back up, box in the jungle, Gabby's working on top, and even down bottom, Tim's able to pick up some action, some levels here. He's now hit the 6. Armel still focusing through the Ancients. He's just a Mithril Hammer away from having the Deso. They're still going to hit these very fast time as TnC. Liquid, they really need to find some kills, and they're going to try now with this smoke.
Invisibility.
I don't think they're going to get anything, are they?
He's not going to be able to catch either. Tries to get Gabby and Bok, or either or there. Doesn't end up getting any of them. They're able to simply step out to the side. And that's a smoke and an arena down the drain there from Liquid. Nothing to be found with it. And TnC will continue to happily farm away across the map.
Yeah, they have all this control and all these ultimates that they want to use on the side of Liquid, and you can just tell by that gank alone how awkward it is and how none of these targets look like the prime meat that you're hunting for. This is just crazy. You can feel it when you look at these ganks, when you look at the map. TNC's always spread out more. They're higher level across the board. Gabby, despite the death, is still getting almost 1 level per minute in this game. And he's going to have the same problem that Ame had last game, where he's going to get the Manta, and he's not going to have enough time in the game to get the Shard yet. So he will be completing the Blink most likely beforehand. And the Chip Vest, this is when you know Gaben's just on your side if you're playing Axe carry and you get Chip Vest. It's kind of like when you see all the mid laners get those fairy trinkets. It's the equivalent.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Gabby's just going to continuously be at full HP here, and the neutral creep's not standing a chance. Yeah, you can really see how well it's going for Gabby when he's as close as he is to the farm of Armel. Over towards the mid, they'll blow the combo onto Pog, but it's not enough, even with the Laguna Blade. Pog's able to walk it off it. TnC not letting anybody go down. I mean, 4-4, the kill's relatively low this game, and of course in that sort of a matchup where one team's able to hit the creeps that much more, you know, you got to favor that side. 3k lead TnC. Armel's got the full deso done now. So he himself, he's going to be even more proactive at getting involved when Liquid do try and bring the action to him. And he's going to hit damn hard.
Yeah, I saw EG with the Wyvern Void, as we might be seeing something bottom. Not going to make sure we miss this. Mickey? Okay. So I saw EG pull out the Wyvern Void safe lane duo, and it just screams damage problems for a really long time. And the minute that TnC saw this, their next 2 picks were just DK offlane, Axe carry. And I just really like the game plan that TnC's constructed. And moving forward, I don't think Liquid's out of it by any means, but it just seems so much more straightforward for TnC to execute their game plan. And Liquid's going to be the ones that really have to think outside the box, make some fancy maneuvers. And here we see them smoking again. You can tell they have a sense of urgency. They know they need to get something done. Sumail working on a BKB, but don't really have any damage items other than that Spirit Vessel coming out on Taiga, and that can be pretty crucial against the heal from the Enchantress as well as the Phoenix with these beefy strength cores.
Let's see what they can grab. Do they want to make the jump on bot? Mickey? Let's show himself there by the tower. TnC. I've got Boomy and Bok ready here for this fight. Gabby also relatively close. And I mean, yeah, even with that time spent here to try and set up Liquid, they're still not able to confidently find a way to jump and start action onto TnC. Now TnC, they're ready to make the jump themselves. They get themselves straight over to Mickey. Mickey is going to get out of position here. They're trying to heal him up with the cold embrace, but honestly, if anything, that just gave time for Gabby to walk and get the call off. They will get the curse down onto Boom. It will cost the life of the Enchantress, but that's the Void gone there. I mean, maybe he was dead either way, but cold embracing him like that, Gabby's able to step up, keep him just chain stunned. Liquid, they're still going to try and get the fight going as they jump in onto Gabby. Laguna Blade as well, but Gabby's been healed up by the Sunray. They move over to Sumail, again trying to save him with the cold embrace, but they've got too much damage to go through it. They smash his life to pieces through the ice. It's 4 dead on Liquid, as they just can't do anything here. TnC in their element. They've had the perfect start. And Gabby, he's ready to rock and roll. 4-1-2 after those kills, pretty much has the Blink Dagger done. It's not looking great here for Liquid, Brian. They're having another rough game already here, just 16 minutes in.
Yeah, you can see why Taiga rushed that Spirit Vessel, and the problem is he has no charges. That could have been the difference between bringing Gabby down there, as he was sitting underneath 500 HP, taking damage and healing right through it the entire time. So, oh man, it's just not going to get easier. You have to get 1 kill first. They're all so tanky, even the supports. Now TA has an Aegis, and the problem here is that you have the Cold Embrace from Wyvern, but you have the pure damage from the Impetus from Enchantress. You have all the spells from Phoenix. You have the Axe Shard that's going to be coming out, which is also pure damage. You have the Side Blades if they're hitting another target, which is pure damage. He was full to zeroed while Cold Embraced, Mickey.
Yeah, I mean, it's feeling like in these fights that Insane might have to hold back on using the Cold Embrace. I feel it's sort of doing them more harm than good. Just sort of disabling his teammates. The heal is just not strong enough at this stage. Of course, with just the 1 point in it, it's just not going to cut it in the chaos and, as you said, the damage types that TnC is able to throw out in these team fights.
Yeah, I was thinking of like a play on words with the way this axe is getting to be played. I think of like Terror Axe, you know, instead of Terror Blade, you have Terror Axe. You're just sending illusions down lanes and clearing them, and it's just so efficient. Like, the whole map control aspect of Dota is that they shouldn't be able to be in all 3 lanes, but because of how easy and quickly Axe as well as TA clear the lanes, and now that TA has the Aegis, and Axe is one of the most survivable carries in the game right now at this stage in the game. It's just so easy for them to have all 3 lanes pushed in, and you can see they're just ignoring mid lane because no one on Liquid is comfortable enough to enter the river.
I mean, a real talk, Brian, you know, with this sort of carry axe coming into play, when do you think the players will catch on to getting the Octarine after the Manta, Brian? Let's go.
That is the build that I did in that one party queue game, and it did carry us when it was 60 plus minutes into the game. It's a nice 6th item
on Manta.
It's a nice 6th item. I don't think it's viable this early because the BKBs and the ACs, it's just too much value because you get so much tankiness and the attack speed aura for yourself and your illusions. It's just so much free damage because you usually only factor in the physical damage, but the pure damage from spins, it's just like Spectre. Pure damage is insane as the game goes on, and you have a better version of Desolate because it doesn't matter if there's anybody near them. Actually, you welcome if their teammates are near them.
And this, Mickey! He's dropped into a Dragon Tail! They have dropped the curse onto Armel. That'll give time for Mickey to step out to the side. Quaitfa's in with the arena, gets the spear down to Pog, but there's no damage to kill Pog. Pog's going to be more than fine. Liquid, they've just got to back away. As again, Cold Embrace used it onto Quaitfa, but Quaitfa looking still pretty dead. There's no escape for the Mars. Quaitfa goes down. The rest of Liquid desperately running out of here, as the rest will make it away. And again, just TnC having the smoothest of times here. 9-5 at 19 minutes and not a lot of kills, but a whole lot of money here. 10k lead for TnC at this early point of the game.
Radiant's middle tower.
Oh, and this is not metaphorical. This is not philosophical. They have literally no damage on the side of Liquid, and this is okay. Go, cast all your spells now on Gabby.
He's just in. He's ready to dive into the high ground. They've got the catch on his center. The Chrono comes out. They've got the tower hitting as well. In onto Gabby. Can they kill it? They can.
Okay.
Comes down. They will manage to punish Gabby. What more can they get out of this? With the arrow in.
Spear vessel charges.
Bok, being healed up as well by the Snow Ray. Quaitfa is going to be able to spear Bok back. Bok still alive. Finally goes down to the crash here as Liquid will take him down. See if Liquid can chase any more here. Okay. His eyes on Boomy. The time dilation, but the Supernova's coming out. Armel, see if he can turn. Quaitfa's managed to catch the 2 of them in the arena. The Supernova will hold them back momentarily, but still Liquid's able to push on, take down Boomy. Look towards Armel. Armel, he'll fall for the first time. See if they can take him out again as they'll set up around the Aegis. There'll be a buyback from Boomy coming into play as they want to try and help out their TA. The one lone tree standing there, enough for Quaitfa to pin Armel in his place. And they're going for everything here. They need to, Liquid. They've got to make as much as they can happen with this fortune that's sort of been handed to them there, as Liquid do manage to kick back here off the back of Gabby, going for a bit of a high ground dive on the axe.
That was the perfect chrono placement as Sumail was right on the outside. I don't even have time to talk here as we're seeing even more action.
Quaitfa's still going. He's able to get in and take down Tim's TnC. They should be able to chase and punish him for this. The battle hunger upon him. There's no help coming in for Quaitfa, so Gabby and Bok and Boomy will manage to get this Mars out of the game.
That's space. Side lane's getting pushed out. Mickey going back for the Maelstrom makes sense. It's just order of items. If he had had a Maelstrom for that fight, he wouldn't have survived the initials jump by TnC, and he chronoed where the Lina and the tier 3 tower were right outside, and that was what it required to bring down Gabby on the axe. And hey, that might be the beginning of the comeback for Liquid. By no means is their team incapable of making plays. Just that bonus damage from the tower, and now with a couple Spirit Vessel charges on Taiga, that first kill was so important to helping them bring down Bok as well, and now they will have the damage as long as the cores of TnC do not have BKB available. 1 charge left.
No, for sure. I mean, as much as I like to see a good dive, I think for TnC's sake, Gabby's going to have to try and restrain himself a little bit more next time round. As those moves indeed giving a bit of a chance here for Liquid. That 10k lead that TnC had, nearly getting halved there off the back of that last team fight.
Middle tower has fallen.
Once they start building into damage items, I assume Sumail will go for the MKB build. Yes, he has it queued up. And he's also got the Boots of Travel, so that should help them get outside of base if TnC had Blex to try to take over the triangle and control the Roche area, which that MKB, super value against all 3 cores, especially the DK and the Axe, who are high armor targets, will get chunked through by that magic damage. Boots of Travel across the board, though. I like this by Gabby. Usually, if you think the opponent's only way back out on the map is Boots of Travel, you want one core with Kill Thread to also have Boots of Travel of their own to make sure you shut that down.
Oh, for sure, yeah, and Gabby, an excellent one to do it, having that catch potential up top. Liquid setting up behind Mickey there, maybe preparing for a move to be made onto the Void, but it isn't coming here from TnC. TnC keeping themselves close together as a unit around the mid lane. Armel, a few hundred gold off having a completed BKB as TA. Still a bit of time for Gabby until he can get his. Armel, once he's got the BKB, he'll have much less of a problem getting in on these squishy heroes of Liquid uninterrupted if those ultimates are down.
Radiant are scanning.
I wonder if there's ever going to be a Shiva's Guard coming out from Liquid. I guess it would probably be Sumail after the MKB. I'm just thinking of heal reduction. They don't have a Scotty builder per se. After the Maelstrom, Mickey could consider it, but it looks like he's worried about his own life before he's worried about taking the opponents as he queues up the Satanic. I don't blame him. We're seeing what's happening in the fights. He's also getting called. He's not generally getting stunned. So that means the Satanic goes up in value.
Oh, for sure, yeah. If Mickey can play to the survivability elements of the hero, he's going to have a chance of sort of pushing on, being that frontliner for Sumail to sit back, get multiple rounds of his abilities off it in the team fights. We'll see what TnC's move is going to be next, as they're now back to building up that lead again. When sort of the calm returns here between these two sides, TnC still able to clean up the map much more efficiently than Liquid can right now.
I never thought I'd see the day where both supports on the same team have a holy locket on. Phoenix and the Enchantress.
That's true. That item, it used to be a bit of a meme, but indeed no longer. No longer at all, especially on these two heroes that do have those strong healing-based spells to really buff up.
Yeah, the fact that you can give the charges to someone else just makes it that much more insane. Because the guy that you don't want to focus these heal supports in the back because they're also so beefy themselves. So your goal would be to put it all on one guy, but then they're also able to put all their heals on one guy.
Yeah, and especially when the heroes that these you're backing up as Tims and Boomy are, as beefy as they are, you're always going to get the chance to get those clutch saves off onto Bok and Gabby. Already with a lot of inbuilt sustain themselves. These are not easy heroes at all for Liquid to kill, as we have seen so far this game. The struggles have been real for Liquid, only really getting a chance to capitalize on the over-aggression of TnC. Outside of that, Liquid not being able to make too many moves themselves.
Yeah, Centaur alone is a huge threat because it just means the opponent sees you. And Liquid has that one ward to work with in their own triangle, and also the one ward near mid-tier 2 of Dire. But here we see Mirana ulti. This is the information game I was talking about. Hopefully Liquid can use it to their advantage right now, as they are down by 10k. Roche going to be spawning quite soon.
Let's see if Liquid can get them by surprise. Boomy gonna head up. Sentry's gonna be dropped down. Boomy's gonna see everything. He'll die for this. As Liquid just quickly, they just take the Enchantress's life. They know that he would be giving the info for the rest of the team, so just take what they were given. Does mean, of course, though, for TnC overall, they'll be rather happy with that one. Only losing an Enchantress to this move that Liquid were
Re-smoke.
Jump on Bok. He's been pretty deep. He's going to get the chance to easily pop that BKB, though. Liquid, what do they do now? They've sort of revealed themselves on a second attempt onto Bok. They're still hanging around the area. Liquid, they've got to start backing off. Even against just the 4 of TnC, it's very hard for Liquid to make moves.
Super late Roche spawn, and Liquid's like, come on, can't just a break here. 20 seconds on the Enchantress. That is the target that TnC purposely offered up, as Liquid's quite familiar with the role of the Enchantress on the map at this stage in the game, as use your creep as well as your own body to face check wherever you think the opponent may be coming from. And you can see that Liquid knows exactly how impactful that Enchantress kill was, where they needed to smoke again to feel like they got enough out of it. As now it's TnC's turn, Enchantress is respawning, will most likely be able to connect to the fight. Probably going to try to de-ward around the area that he did get ganked. Pretty smart of him to help set up for the Roche. The thing about Liquid's lineup is they don't take Roche particularly fast, so TnC is now sitting up on bottom, assuming that someone on Liquid is going to feel pressured to go defend and push out the bottom lane. Most likely would be Sumail, because he's the one with boots of travel that would be able to rejoin the Roche area. And this Axe, these Axe illusions, it is so valuable. You can't put a gold value on heroes that can clear waves. All 3 waves, like Naga and Terrorblade, are generally the only heroes that can do it before this Axe carry without having to put themselves at risk at all.
I think one of the great things as well about the Axe carries, let's be honest, Brian, would you rather be playing Axe carry, Naga, or Terrorblade? No, Axe for the fun factor, for the player, Axe has got to be at the top of the list.
Absolutely. No, I purposely took this patch as an excuse to finally get to play some Axe carry in those party queue games, and I still thought it was a meme even though it worked, but apparently it is not.
It's looking very good here. Coming up to 19k net worth, some insane farm. Oh, Gabby Sumail! He steps out to clear a wave, they're ready and waiting, they get the jump on him straight away.
Yep.
Sumail, he was not ready for that.
Exactly what they were waiting for. They were so patient. Like, the Liquid sees 2 heroes top, and TnC was still patiently waiting bottom.
Oh, Boomy. Oh, catch him. TPs are coming in. Boomy, he's still alive. Mickey will drop the chrono. He's caught Armel, but Armel already got the BKB up. He's got the reflection run. Literally no damage, Brian. Literally no damage done throughout the duration of that chrono. Armel's to full HP. A Winter's Curse, but for what? Gabby, he's in with the call. He's called Sumail again. He's got Sumail on speed dial. Both times, Sumail just out of action. He brought back for that as well. Mickey's dead. Sumail's out and down for 90 seconds. Xader, he's not making it out either. Gabby's still got credit to play with as he makes another, takes out 4 of them here. It's 15k lead now for TnC. After a fight like that, Liquid's going to be sort of licking their wounds, and I don't think they could do much more than that, Brian.
Yeah, this game was consistently one fight away from TnC just breaking open the map once again, as they kind of had to recover what they lost diving the tier 3 towers. And you can just tell when TnC sees a target like this bottom, you go on them, they die. When Liquid sees a target, maybe you have 4 heroes and you're not sure if they're gonna die. And that just never... It's almost impossible at this level of play when one team's executing on that much easier of a minimum threshold to kill somebody comparatively.
There we go, straight up to the base. Still 30 seconds, no Sumail. Mikhail will be back up, but of course no chrono. And even when that's there, as we've seen, not a whole lot to be done with it whatsoever. How far behind Liquid are as TnC. Let's spot him. Gabby's in again. Another catch, another kill. Insania is out. I mean, they're going to have to probably call it soon, otherwise... No, Gabby's still, they're going to shoot through the roof.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
What are they doing, Gabby?
That's going to be calling next.
Middle tower.
That's true. I think you might be right with that one. They're going to buy back here, but they've got to watch out for this Axe. Quite for pots the BKB. They get the arrow onto Armel. Armel, of course, still has that Aegis. He'll be able to blow him up the once, but he's ready for round 2. Gabby jumping into Sumail. Sumail this time able to keep the distance. Pots the BKB. Starts to turn. He'll use the curse. Stun comes out from Sumail. At the end of the day, that just stops Armel from being able to do any damage to Gabby. Armel getting fully focused here in the ring to get the BKB. The refraction of Armel's still alive. He's stepping away. Armel, he's going to live. He's getting healed up by Boomy. They can't kill the TA. Mickey's silence. Mickey's gone. Coming in with the double buybacks here, Liquid. But TnC, they're continuing to roll on as Gabby's in again with another call. Tiger, Quaifa out of action. Mickey as well. They've got to call it. They really have. And there it goes. GG. As TnC 25-11, 32 minutes, at 33k net worth lead. My goodness, they come in with another showstopper of a performance.